Hello again everyone, Kevin here, and I'm back with the newest Minecraft snapshot, and I've been playing around with slime blocks. This is the minecart elevator that I showed you in the last video, Minecraft video. I'm not sure when exactly I'm putting this one up. But this is the minecart elevator that I had built before, and as you can see, I have two of them stuck in here so it doesn't demonstrate very well. Let's try that again. So as you can see, this one pushes the minecart up, then over, then up, and goes back and forth in a cycle like that. Which works fine, except that it introduces a lot of extra redstone around these pistons because it has to go over to the other side and keep switching over, and it's not very scalable. I was having trouble getting the minecart to go up as it went up. There's a better way to say that sentence, I'm sure. Anyway, the redstone was getting slightly more complicated the further up I got, just to keep the timing and everything in sync. So I thought about it for a little bit, and I came up with this design here. This is a very similar design, except that it doesn't push the minecart over at all. What this one does is the minecart goes up, then when it passes this slime block, it gets pushed out, and then up, and that knocks the minecart up to the next one, which goes up to the next one, and so on and so forth until I got bored of building and just made it reset and go back down. But as far as I can tell, this one should be scalable almost forever, except for a slight problem that I'll go into in a second. But let's see how it works with the minecart. So as you can see, it just pushes it up, then it sends out these slime blocks, which then push it up and goes all the way to the top, and I made it start over. So each of these is a small self-contained unit. The bottom one is the only one that's any different because it is triggered by the minecart itself, which, yeah, it's coming back. It's triggered by the minecart itself. So it has to be triggered by this block, which then gets carried up to here. And the great thing with the slime blocks is that it actually carries this piston along so that it doesn't need anything extra. Now after these two pistons are triggered, they're actually pushing out this redstone block here, which is what triggers the next one up in the series. Now I did that because it just makes the timing so much easier in my opinion, because the piece of the machine before is what actually triggers the next bit. So you don't have to worry about your redstone signal going faster than your minecart, because every time one of these is triggered it starts the signal over again, and that way you only have to build the same amount of delay in each of these sections. The problem that I was having is the signal actually starts to decay. The reason being that these pistons create a half redstone tick in some cases. The normal redstone tick, if you don't know, takes 2 ticks in the game time. But with pistons and some glitchiness, it is possible to get one that only takes 1 tick in game time, so that's half a redstone tick. Now that lets you do some interesting stuff, but unfortunately in this case it was going too fast to actually trigger what I wanted to do. I built this little model here to show you what I mean. So this is more or less the same thing as is over there, except I built it out flat so we can see what's going on. Now when you hit the button, it triggers this one and the second one, but it doesn't trigger the third one. It triggers it to go out forward, but then it doesn't actually trigger this redstone here, which would push it up. Now let's see what that does a little closer. You see this pulse is actually so fast by the second iteration that it's not triggering this torch at all. It's a little bit of a glitch, but it's just triggering this redstone for a split second, which is enough to go in a straight line, but it's not enough to trigger this side one here, which is the same problem as having over there. Now if you're one closer it works fine, so it's just a speed glitch. It's nothing to do with how it's set up or anything. So to fix that, this is the bit that I'm not super happy with. So if someone knows a way to make this go better, I'm very eager to hear it. But to fix that, I put in this comparator because I needed the signal to go around twice basically. The first signal triggers up this direction, which then triggers this torch, which carries the signal up to the next iteration of the machine here. Ooh, that's going to make you dizzy. Carries the signal up to the next iteration of the machine here. And that's the signal that was getting too short. So I carried another signal around this way into this repeater set at 1 tick, so it basically sends 2 signals one after the other, which elongates the signal enough at each time to keep the machine working. The reason this comparator is here is to keep the signal from moving back on itself too much. If this comparator was not here, then the signal would power this block, carry around, and then carry around and continue powering itself forever. This comparator with the one redstone in between checks, and since this redstone power block is 1 away, it goes through only when the power block comes through, not when the power is coming from this block here, because that's 2 blocks away. Now this thing is minorly glitchy, but I suspect that's because it's the snapshot, because every now and then it does stop working for a reason that I can't figure out. But in theory, if you just continue building, you build this first module here, oops, and you don't destroy your button or your block there. I am having so much trouble with my clicking today. Okay, one more time. There we go. You have this that powers the initial one and then carries the signal up these torches to here. And then after this point, all of these are exactly the same, and you can just tile it upward, in theory as far as you want. Though, after a little while I did have to start adding a slight amount of delay here, just because the way the minecart was going up wasn't matching the same speed as the other bit. And I did test this with myself in the minecart. Let's do it again and hope that it actually works this time. So you should be able to do it with yourself in the minecart to get up to a higher track. You should be able to do it with the chest minecarts to send stuff up from your mine. Though I think the further away you are from these, the glitchier they get. Like in that instance, I don't know why that one didn't fire. It should have just kept on working, but if you don't have it in the loop, then you might wind up with fewer problems. Anyway, there is my Minecart Elevator Mark II. It's much more elegant. It's not exactly more compact, but it is more elegant, and it's much more tileable, so you can get it higher up. I hope you've enjoyed. Please feel free to let me know if you have a way to fix this problem I was having. Basically, I need to turn half a redstone tick into a full redstone tick every time this fires. And other than that, it's working great. I hope you enjoyed the video. I am Gefwin, and I will see you soon.